Theo Vaughn had Bernie Sanders on his podcast this last weekend, and he had him before. Nothing wrong with that. Let's listen for a second.
I saw that you were out there on the nurses picket line, the New York nurses.
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. We went the other day too. We had a great time.
Oh wow, that's a nice crowd. Jesus.
That's when you were. That was there. Was that?
That's me today. There I am.
That's you this
morning. Who's that handsome guy in the brown coat? Oh, that's me. All right. Who's that kid with him? Oh, that's the mayor.
Yeah, that's Zoran, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we were. We went out there the other day. We had a good time. We stayed for a few hours, walked around, shook some bells,
Great.
Got out there. My sister's
I love nurses.
My sister's a nurse.
Where is she a nurse?
She's a nurse down in Louisiana.
Good.
But I figured that if, things start here in New York, a lot of big things start here.
Theo, let me just say something.
Yeah.
I really appreciate the work you do and other podcasters do. This is one of the technological revolutions that is really good. Sometimes I go on TV and I'm asked to deal with an issue in 7 seconds. I can't deal with it. You can't deal with it, right?
Yeah.
Takes a little bit of time. So thank you for what you're doing.
Well, I appreciate that. We're trying to learn as we go too, and it changes a lot, But were you at Mount Sinai? Which one did you go?
Mount Sinai.
Yeah, that's where we went.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, I was really proud to go there and be alongside Mayor Zoran Mamdani. I'm the former chairman of the Health Education Labor Committee. And I'll tell you, Theo, I have met with nurses all over this country, and I love nurses. It's no great secret that our healthcare system is broken. Everybody knows that. And the people who are keeping it going are, in fact, the nurses. They're with you when babies are born. They're with you when you die. They're with you in between. They're at your bedside. They're the backbone of the healthcare system, and I love them. And I'll tell you something, time and time again, nurses would come into my office, and they'd start talking, and suddenly they'd start crying. And you know what they were crying about? They were crying about the fact that they were unable to do the jobs, to do the work that they were trained and wanted to do, that they didn't have the number of nurses they needed, the staffing ratios that they needed. They broke down. And I was just a couple of years ago, not dissimilar for what's going on in New York City right now in New Brunswick, New Jersey. These nurses went on strike. You know why they went on strike? Because they needed help.
Yeah.
To provide better patient care. It wasn't even about money.
Right. They're just saying, hey, I can't even be a nurse. This is my calling in the world, and I can't even do it to a decent potential.
Exactly.
And it's tough enough. We talked last time about patients being stressed to the gills, not only dealing with their physical ailments, but having to deal with the stress of begging for insurance companies to support, just all of that. And now you're going to put the nurses under the same stress.
Exactly. It's pathetic. And I'm sure you know this, the CEOs there of these big, huge hospitals. One guy is making $26 million a year. Another guy, I think, is making $16 million. Another guy making $5 million. They're bringing in all these traveling nurses, spending hundreds of millions of dollars rather than sitting down and negotiating a decent contract with these dedicated nurses. So there they are. You got them up there, huh?
Yep, and I'm grateful. I want to just mention these wonderful CEOs by name today, just so, because look, it's time where we put a name with people who are making certain choices. And so we have Brendan Carr. I know he's over at Mount Sinai. Brian Donnelly, there he is. Look at that big smile. I'd be smiling too if I just made $15 million this year. And that's Philip O. Ozua, who looks like a Guess Who character. And Stephen Corwin from Monopoly. I don't know. That's alleged. These are the CEOs current, and I think one is just leaving the one of his posts, these are who nurses are asking for help from.
Right.
Is that right? And just to be clear, Bernie, what are the nurses asking for?
What they're asking for, what they call safe nurse-patient ratios. That means if you're a nurse on duty and you have too many patients to take care of, you can't do your job.
Yeah.
A patient calls out, needs your help, you can't get there. So they want more staffing to be able to provide the quality care that patients deserve.
Mm-hmm. And I know in addition to that, I think they wanted healthcare benefits not to be cut.
Right, for themselves, right.
Which is if you think that nurses
pretty crazy, huh?
Can't get healthcare. They can't be sure that they're going to have healthcare. They're working with the sick. We can't say, hey, we're going to do our best to make sure you don't get sick.
That's pretty crazy. And The other thing they're worried about, and I hope we can discuss this a little bit, is AI and robotics. They've raised that issue as well.
Have they really?
Yeah. And there was a Dr. Oz, who's head of CMS in Washington right now, was talking the other day. Let me get it straight. I think it was Alabama, rural Alabama, where they're weak on the number of obstetricians that they have. And he was proudly talking about how they have robots now who are providing examinations for pregnant women. Yeah.
And who's controlling those robots? It's not some pervert at his house, huh?
Well, but the point is, if you're a patient, do you really want a robot examining you?
Right.
So, I mean, I think all of this, Theo, adds up to the fact, and I'll tell you, I've been all over the country, and wherever I go, I talk about this. Whether you're conservative, you're moderate, you're progressive, you understand the healthcare system is broken today.
Yeah.
We are spending, this is insane. Do you know how much we spend per capita? Add everything else, right? Medicaid, Medicare, what you pay out of your own pocket. How much do we spend per person on healthcare in the United States of America? Do you know? Take a wild and crazy guess.
Yeah, I think that's it. What are your thoughts about this?
About this clip?
Yeah.
I think it's I always like Theo Von. I like when Theo Von's kind of because I know that Theo Von grew up Louisiana, mixed kid, very poor. So I think it's cool when his roots come out like that. I don't know. Is there anything in specific? I mean, I agree with everything.
Hats off to him for supporting his sister. Hats off to him for supporting the march and bringing exposure to that march.
Yeah.
What I'm going to say negative about this interview is the fact that Bernie Sanders does exactly what a classical politician does. Whenever a politician sees a light at the end of the tunnel, the first thing they recommend is, let's buy more tunnel. So yeah, his job is not to go on marches. It's great that he's going on marches. His job is to go in the Senate. He's a senator of the United States, and he had leverage in the House of Representative and they've had majority in the first few maybe 2 years of Joe Biden. They had a House majority and Senate majority. They didn't force the vote in the House with Nancy Pelosi. They turned around. Everybody bent like a paper doll. And Bernie Sanders who was a big proponent of Medicare for all, and we need a revolution, and we're going to start a revolution. When push came to shove, it didn't pan out. It didn't work. They had that Biden was proposed at some point $10 trillion bill for the Build Back Better, and then they used the revolving villain, Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema, to knock that down. At the end, it got from 10 trillion to 1 trillion, and then even that did not get the vote. But it was, by the way, it wasn't Kirsten Sinema, it wasn't Joe Manchin. Both of them were stating at the time, loud and clear, it's unfair that you guys are looking only at us, because everybody else hid behind them. But the truth is, if it wasn't them, it was someone else, because the technique is the revolving villain. Now it's somebody's turn to be the villain, and then the next time it's somebody else's turn to be the villain, and they keep going around and around and around. And Bernie Sanders could have asked for concessions in 2016 when he lost the elections to Hillary Clinton. By the way, everybody says he could have asked for concessions, and if he, as if that would have been something that would have caused a disadvantage to Hillary Clinton. My theory is this: because he didn't ask for concessions from Hillary Clinton, she was free to go really crooked, and that's why she lost the elections. If he would have kept her straight, if he would have done his job, because that's the problem. That's the genius of the democratic system. Even when you lose, you ask a concession and you keep the man that wins, you keep them straight. Now, your job is not finished once you've been defeated. That's it. You know, you've been defeated, but you still have the following. You still have leverage. You ask for some concessions and you provide the endorsement. That's what was supposed to happen. But he asked for nothing. And that's why she went completely berserk and lost. But if he would have said, hey, listen, I'm going to give you the endorsement, but you got to promise Medicare for all. You got to promise something. You know, ask for something. She would have probably won the elections. If he would have kept her on the line, kept her straight, she would have probably won. She lost because she was free to go as crooked as she wanted.
Well, I think there's something with the Hillary Clinton thing. I think Hillary Clinton from the start was shown to be kind of a...
Yeah, that's
all of the popular support for Hillary came from the fact that she was a woman and everyone really wanted a first woman president.
I don't know if that's true entirely. Let me say this.
Hillary Clinton is a classic neoliberal imperialist in democratic clothing.
Listen, you're not. Listen, I'm not saying you're right or you're wrong. I'm saying it's the common belief today. It's the common conception today that Hillary Clinton is what you just said. But the truth is this. I think that if you put Hillary Clinton next to Joe Biden in 2020, I think Joe Biden was a lot more crooked and a lot less palatable than Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton didn't get the nomination in 2020 because she lost in 2016. But in 2016, for a long time, she was up there. She was running head to head. But the truth is, when somebody runs, there is an advantage to the democratic system, and I'm not talking about the Democratic Party. I'm talking about the democratic election system, where even, let's say you lost, just what I said earlier, you lost in the primary, the candidate that goes to the general elections, in this case Hillary Clinton, doesn't have to be Hillary Clinton alone. Hillary Clinton can incorporate in her platform other ideological movements, other movements from her counter candidates, from the people that competed against her, because everybody that loses the primary, they're supposed to endorse. Well, when you endorse, you're supposed to ask for some concessions. It's a way for you, Bernie Sanders, to show that you are loyal to the crowd that pushed you as far as they did. It's your obligation. You're supposed to ask for something so that those guys don't feel like abandoned completely. And if you do that, you ensure that in the general election, your candidate, your primary candidate, or Hillary Clinton, doesn't go completely berserk and loses even the Democratic vote. She lost because he didn't ask for any concessions, and the Democratic Party, the voters, just said, "Well, screw it. I'm not even going to show up because this is crazy."
Oh, a lot of the people who would have voted for Bernie, a lot of them went and voted for Trump,
went and voted for Trump or didn't show up,
or just
right, yeah. But if he would have asked for something from her, it would have been to her best interest.
Yeah,
that's the paradox in here.
Well,
all she needed to do is listen to him, and he was supposed to give her a hard time to get the endorsement. Hey, I'm not giving you the endorsement, but who knows? Maybe in the who knows what they talked about in the backstage. But yeah, that's
I do agree.
Another thing with Yvonne and Bernie, just like AOC and the squad, they show up at rallies and they show up at demonstrations and protests. But when they go to vote, they don't vote as they're supposed to. They don't vote. They just pretend, look, we're with you guys, but when it's voting time, they vote for all the budgets to go to military to wars all over the world. None of them voted against the budget for Ukraine.
And that's actually why the DSA
situation.
cut ties with AOC.
Yeah.
The Democratic Socialists of America Party cut ties with AOC over that exact topic, because they were like, you cheated us. And I do think, from a certain perspective, I am disappointed with Bernie Sanders from that from the perspective of, he should have forced the advantage he had in 2016 much, much harder than he did. I think he was much too concerned with the possibility of a Trump presidency that would probably not have happened had he stuck to his guns and actually gone through. Because if you put Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton on a podium, most people are not voting Hillary Clinton. I will guarantee you that. The problem, and I
don't think that was the case. It's now the case, but back then it wasn't clear. It was pretty close. It was a pretty close run.
Well, but he failed to consider the fact that a Trump presidency was not. I think a lot of the success Trump had electorally in 2016 was down to the fact that Bernie dropped. Because a lot of people would have voted for Bernie, and 60% of those people voted for Trump instead because they were sick and tired of perceived establishment stooges, which it turned out Trump was a huge establishment stooge anyway. But the other problem is that I don't think Bernie Sanders considered the damage that and the discrediting he had done to the left populist movement. I think a lot of people today are extremely skeptical of progressives and leftists in America because Bernie Sanders and AOC and all these people routinely seemingly have an inability or an unwillingness to stand up to their center colleagues and counterparts in the House of Representatives and Congress. Famously, like we talked about, AOC kind of dropped the Israel problem when Nancy Pelosi confronted her about it. And
she cried on the floor like a little girl. Like, this is all theatrical politics.
It's all smoke. It's lip service, as is classic of liberals. It's all lip service that doesn't actually do anything for the true working class, the true oppressed peoples of the country. I think the problem, I want to say that I still support what Bernie Sanders stood for, and I hope that someone can succeed, because even if he succeeded, he's old. He's going soon.
That's not whatever, old or young. Come on, if Joe Biden pulled it off,
no. Well, sure,
Joe Biden pulled it off.
Okay, Joe Biden arguably shouldn't have, because Joe Biden had seemingly. Donald Trump now is apparently going through something. Did you see he is having?
Yeah, he's having stuff.
He had a stroke.
Whatever.
Almost certainly he had a stroke.
Who knows? Regardless, I think that whenever the Democrats are looking at who's to blame, obviously Hillary Clinton made a huge mistake because she thought she can. She did not read the advancements in technology and the fact that the humans are now communicating more directly. There's people in Sri Lanka that are more astute about the U.S. elections than
some people living in
West
Kentucky
Virginia
and the Appalachians. They don't know shit.
So there's people on the other side of the planet that are not, like, it's not their job, but they just know everything because it's enough to watch YouTube now and whatever news podcasts. Yeah,
dude, Nepal had an entire revolution organized on Discord.
Right. So it's not. Absolutely, she did not read the room, but I also think that there's a role in the opposition. There's a role in when you're in the opposition, you're not outside of the power structure. You're just buttressing from a different direction, but you're still buttressing. If you give that up, the system collapses. They're supposed to balance each other. So in this case, if Bernie lost the votes in the primary, it was his job to go and talk to her and say, hey, lady, we can do this the hard way, or we can do it the normal way, where if you want my endorsement, you give me something in return so that the crowd that I've represented up to this point doesn't feel abandoned. And that way, if you promise, we make sure that they will vote for you and you win. Doesn't that sound good? Mm-hmm. And it should have been like that, but he just showed up with the mittens and didn't smile, and
he kind of put on a grumpy act and didn't, like, he should have been pissed. He should have gone on that stage and be like, you are being screwed. The American public is being fucked now.
No, that probably shouldn't have happened either. They should have both shown maturity, and in the end, the fact that they didn't is really a natural selection result. It's like, you guys acted like children and you lost like children. So whatever happened behind the scenes, giddy up.
But I sustain the idea that he should have taken advantage of it sounds bad. He should have taken advantage of the fact that people were very, very frustrated with the email situation, with the fact that the DNC went behind Bernie Sanders' back and deliberately attempted to sabotage his campaign because it was not in tow with the party line.
Right. It doesn't sound bad.
Centrist,
it sounds
milquetoast liberal agenda.
That's what you're supposed to do. Not, for all these people. Oh, I'm sorry. For all these people that are talking about the invisible hands and whatever. Yeah. This is one of those cases where his self-interest would have saved the situation. Yeah. His self-interest would have kept her in check and made his crowd vote for her and have her win.
Yeah.
That's the truth. So that's...
Which would have... and again, I don't think Hillary Clinton would have, even if she did make some concessions to the progressives, I don't think anything would have happened. I think it was pretty.
Not, you don't know that. That's not true. You know.
Yeah. It is conjecture. I know, but
listen. Donald Trump in 2016. Remember, he lost the popular vote.
That's true.
So he won more states, but he didn't win by a large margin in 2016.
He won the electoral college vote, which was equally some horse shit.
But if they would have done what they were supposed to do, they probably would have been better. So anyway, all right, that's that with the current events. Do you want to talk about anything else? Do you want to still talk about the Nuremberg trials, or?
I think we can. This episode's gone pretty long. I think we can save that for another time.
Right. We can wrap it up.
Yeah.
And okay. So
I'm down.
This
has been episode 0. This is
0.
the pilot of the Hora Staccato podcast. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Whoever manages to tune in and listen to us just kind of bitch and moan all day. Thank you so much. We'll see how this goes. We'll see if we make more. We're going to try and make more. We have a couple of other topics we'd like to brainstorm and consider and put some more thought into before we talk about them on air.
If you're watching this, please give us a comment of what you would like to hear us talk about.
Absolutely would love to do that.
Please give us suggestions of what you think we should talk about. And
all right.
It's been a pleasure.
Till next time, I've been Alex. This is my dad. And all power to the people, no power to the pigs.